Thank you for tuning into the Moonfire Lounge where your spirit meets his flame. Today is Saturday. Black is on the board. Saturn is the planet, and we're going to ground with some truth. We're going to let the angels tell us something for today. We're going to let them tell us something for today. What you gotta say? I hope you're doing good. I hope this was a good week for y'all. I hope a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about has come true. And a disclaimer that I have that I always tell people, like if I read for them, that sometimes I say things now and it happens. So like, let's say if I did a reading for you and I say March and it don't happen this March, it's be dead to right the next March, like next year. Sometimes it's like that with me, but it's like on point. And it amazes me how people get nervous, but they go to you for the information, but then they get nervous when it's accurate. I find that funny. But anyway, life never ends. Spirit endures all. And of course not, because you are a spiritual being. You're in a body, a spacesuit. You're in this is not who you really are. If you could see who you really are, you would not be in this body. So it makes sense that life never ends, because you don't. I was just thinking about passing and funerals the other day, because I was thinking about somebody who is not well, and I was saying like we not supposed to mourn in a way of crying and sadness. We're supposed to have a celebration because the person is back to their original state. And I wish that more people understood that. And I get it when things happen to people abruptly and you don't have time to like get it, but it amazes me how many times people know that somebody's sick and suffering and still begs for them to be here and don't go, and I need you. And in a way, and please don't get mad at me, but it's like selfish, because it's like you want the person to stay here and suffer because you need them, and now they're back home in their proper state, and they could be here for you. You could talk to them, they could help you. They might even be able to help you more than, like, especially if they was like laid up and they couldn't move and things like that. So sometimes we have to understand that what we want is not the best for the person that you want it from. And that goes for whether somebody's sick or not, whether there's death on the table or not. Yeah. And I didn't mean to trigger anybody, but maybe somebody needs to hear that for real. Tell a loved one how much they do truly mean to you. It is better to tell them while they are among the living. So this is definitely, maybe somebody that I'm talking to, somebody is sick and you know that they're not going to be here for, in the physical flesh, won't be here soon. And you're grappling between what you want and what is truly needed. And I hold your hand and I give you a hug, and I'm sorry that that's happening. But celebrate them. I had an uncle who had cancer, and I think I've told this story before. And when they were doing, this is when COVID was happening, and we couldn't go to the hospital. We had to do the Zoom calls, and my family got in there and they was so sad and so like downcast, and it was almost like he was going closer to the light, or not being here no more, because it was like they were so miserable and they was just thinking about themselves. And I got on there and I was like, we're not going to do that. We're going to have his funeral right now, and everybody's going to tell a joke, because he was a funny person. He was an outgoing person. So for me to hear that that's how these videos was being conducted, it was so disheartening. So we got on there and he basically got to have his funeral while he was alive, and we all got to have jokes and we all ended up laughing. And we did that twice before he left this earth, as far as in his earthly body. And it was amazing because he actually moved and responsible. Before he wasn't doing that, and I was like, he's not gonna go out like that, because that's not who he was in this lifetime, and he had cancer and it was really, really bad. But sometimes we have to like just give a person a little chuckle, a little laugh, because I knew, because we were super close, that he was ready to go, because he was just tired. He was tired of being nagged by certain people. He was tired of like those type of things. So just keep that in mind if you're dealing with somebody who's not well, because just like me, I'm a person who has been in a bad situation before where I was sick, and the worst thing in the world was to have my people have to take care of me. And you may be like, why? That's stupid. Because no, when you're an independent person, when you want to be able to walk and talk on your own, you don't want nobody to have to wipe you behind, you don't understand what that does to the person who's not well. Like, to you, they just laying there and they get being taken care of, but if that's not who they was in this world, that's a heavy thing to do. I never want to be in that position again where, and I don't have a problem with somebody taking care of me as far as like you cooking for me and you want to clean, but to be just like in a position to where I can't function, nah, I don't like that. And there's a lot of people that's like that. So to you, they're getting away with it, or they should be grateful, but that position is their demise. You get what I'm saying? And they are grateful. So a lot of people are grateful, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. And it says, what are you waiting for? The life you dreamed of is waiting for you. So maybe you put your life on hold to take care of this person, and that's one of the things that's saddening you, but you will be able to pick up what it is that you left off, or you're already starting to pick it up because you already see what's going on and you're kind of conflicted because of your emotions right now to the situation, but you will be okay. And mourning doesn't stop. Like, you mourning a person who passed away doesn't stop. Even when you think that you are in a place where it's, I'm good. It could be a TV show. It could be something that somebody says, shoot, you could just be sitting there and think about the person, and you could be, I'm like that with my dad still to this day. Like, sometimes I just sit and I'm like, dang, you know? Do not live in the past. Look forward to the future and rejoice in the journey ahead. And I just feel like the person, when they pass, or if it's somebody who's passing, they're going to give you a boost. You're going to know that they're around you. What I would suggest is that you ask for a sign. So like, even while they're still here, say, you know, if it's your time to go, you know, I respect that. Like, I had to release a couple of people from this world. My grandmother, certain people, my uncle waited for me to come to see them before they transitioned, and I gave them the permission to transition. You can say, who are you to give permission? But it's like I said, if you don't know my walk, then whatever, you know? But sometimes you can ask for a sign. Like, and I'm looking at an elephant right now that somebody gave me. So it could be that I would like to see elephants to know it's you. But I just feel like you're going to get a boost if this is a person who's transitioning. And they're going to always tell you that they're with you. Okay? So thank you for tuning into the Moonfire Lounge, where your spirit meets its flame.